Hey there everyone, back again with another video, and in this video we're gonna move forward with our Flutter series or Flutter tutorials. So in my last video I have talked about GETX. Okay, so in this video we are just gonna move forward with the GETX. So the intro part or the theory part was in my last video. It was just a 5-minute video, and in this video we will be following the steps given in the official documents of GETX, so that you can also understand what is GETX and how we can create application. So what I will be doing, I will be creating just the counter application that we have in our Flutter. I will be creating that using GETX. Okay, so firstly let me just open my terminal. I will go to my Flutter projects and I will now create a Flutter create GETX project. Okay, so I will be doing everything in front of you so that you can see what I am doing. Okay, and this is the official site of GETX. Okay, so I will be just try to replicate. They already have their counter app, but I will try to explain each and everything. They have only the increment thing. I will show you how to decrement also. Okay, and if you want me to make a in-depth video regarding this, you can directly comment me down, or you can also ping me on Instagram. Okay, you can find all the links of this on my GitHub. This is my profile. Okay, all the Instagram and everything will be provided here. Okay, we have a Flutter group, Flutter WhatsApp group also. If you haven't joined that, you can directly join this. Okay, so yeah, you can directly support me over here, or you can subscribe to our channel also. So let us just go to this GETX project and open my this code editor, and let us just directly run the, what you can say, emulator. Okay, without wasting any time, I hope that you know some basics of Flutter. Okay, so let's just open my emulator and wait for this emulator to load, because I know that it takes a little bit while to load and everything. So I will meet you after this emulator loads. Okay, so yeah.
A few moments later.
So you can see that my emulator is now running and we have everything. Okay, we have this boilerplate that Flutter gives us, and everything. So I don't think that I have to explain what this code is. You can see that there is a button. If you click on this plus sign, the number will increase, and for decreasing there is nothing, but still we have this. So one of the, if I explain you a little bit of what this code is, you can see that firstly there is a stateless widget that contains a material app. Inside that we have a app that takes us to a stateful widget. Okay, so we have a stateful widget, but by the help of this get, you don't need now a stateful widget. Okay, if you are creating any application using GETX, then there might be some cases where you need a stateful widget, but most of the cases that I have used, there is no use of a stateful widget. Okay, and this might be a lengthy code. You can see that it is approximately 113 lines. Using GETX, it will definitely not be so much longer. Okay, you can see that there is a increment counter button, and there is function. It will takes us to a set state and each and everything. So GETX has taken care of each and everything, managing the state and everything. So let's just dive right into our coding without wasting any time, so that you can also understand. Okay, so I will be just trying to replicate this, or I will try to just give some trick in it. Okay, so let me just delete each and everything. Okay, so the first thing, one second, what happened? Yeah. Okay, so the first thing that we will do, okay, first thing that we will do, we will go to our pubsec.yaml, and inside this we will add get. Okay, it is not getx, it's get. Okay, we will directly add get and save it, so that my pubs.get should install my dependency. Okay, let install. It will take a couple of seconds, I think. Yeah, it's now installed. So what we will do, we will just go to my main, And inside this, now what we will do in this thing, we will not create a my app like this. Okay, we will now create a we know that in this application we have to include material app. Okay, in my previous application, or if any of the tutorial that you have seen, but for this now we don't need this thing. Okay, one sec, yeah, we don't need a material app, but we can directly add GETX. So for that I will firstly import get and get dot. Okay, and 1 second, yeah, so inside this I will go with the get material app. Yeah, I'm going with the get material app, and inside this it takes one thing. Okay, you have to just give a home. Okay, you can see that it is taking three things, so I'm just giving the home. You can just play around with this code so that you can also understand what they have. Okay, so I will be giving the name as view. Okay, I will go a little bit related to MVC pattern that I have shown. Okay, so firstly what I will do, I will create a folder. Its name will be view. Okay, inside this I will create a view dot dart. Okay, view dot dart, yeah, and here I will just import material dot dart. And now what I will do, I will just create a stateless widget. Okay, so stl stateless widget, and I will just go with the view. Okay, so this is my stateless widget, and if I come over here, I will just remove this return and type my own thing, safe area firstly. Okay, and inside this safe area now I will go with the scaffold. Okay, so scaffold, inside this we have a app bar, so app bar. Okay, in not the action, I don't want action. You can just play around with these things. Okay, if you want to explore. So firstly I will go with the title is a text widget. Okay, and we will just say that counter app. Okay, and now we will just go with the body, and at a center we will add a child with a column. Okay, and the column will be, firstly I will just say a text. Okay, text, let me just add a random text for time being. Okay, then we will add floating action button on pressed. Currently I don't want anything to do. And 1 second, and inside this we have a child, so child will be icon. Inside this icons dot add. Okay, and now I will, 1 second, let me just do this, and this will go over here, and comma floating action button on press we will do nothing, and then we will go with the child. Okay, child will be, yeah, child will be icon, icons dot remove. Yeah, remove. Okay, and we just have to add this thing. Okay, so we have our this UI ready, and now let's just import that in our this. So I've imported it, and now if I save it, let's see what happens. Okay, so we got a error. What the error? Unimplemented handling, missing target, static target. See also this. Okay, once again, what is the issue? My app. Okay, so it's just going with that my app thing. So let me just reload everything. Do a hot restart. Okay, so it's now created. Yeah, so you can see that we have our counter application. This thing might happen while creating your application. Okay, so we have a 0, we have this thing. So let us just go over here and do some of the things like this. main axis alignment should be center. Now if I save it, yeah, everything is now at this point. And can I give a row, and we have a children, and now this both of these things, firstly let me give a comma, and now the both of this floating action button should go above, and one more, it should go one more above. 1 second. Yeah, so now everything is like this, and I will just give a main axis alignment again as main axis alignment dot center, and I save it. Okay, so you can see that this is like this. So we can give a style and text style. Okay, text style and font size giving it to be 25, so that it should look a little bit, yeah, it is now good. Okay, I should give it 30 so that it should look a little bit bigger, so that you can understand what everything is happening. Okay, so this is the UI. Okay, my view is now done. Now what I want is to do, I want to create a controller that controls my this text. Okay, that controls my text on this floating action button, on any of the event that is happening on this floating action button, it should control my text. Okay, so for that firstly we will create a controller. Okay, so for creating a controller, what I will do, I will create a folder controller. Okay, and inside this I will create a controller dot dart. Okay, you can give any name that you want. I am just giving this name so that you can understand what we are doing. Okay, so and this whole thing can be made on a single page. We have some error in this test because we have a, yeah, we have a my app and I have changed that, so we will just ignore it. Okay, and in this counter what I will do, I will firstly import my getx get and get dot dart, and now I will create a class, okay, whose name will be controller. Okay, and it will extend get getx controller. Okay, so getx controller, you can see that this is getx controller. So I will create two things. Okay, so one will be, no, not two things. Okay, it will be three things. Okay, so one will be the counter. Okay, and one will be the increment function, and one will be the decrement function. Okay, so firstly let us just create a variable, that is var, and we will set it as counter, and I'm just setting a value as 0. Okay, and then I'm just creating a increment, yeah, increment function. Okay, and this will just increase the counter by 1, and we will just create a decrement function, and this will just go with the counter minus minus. Okay, so this is a counter that we have created. Okay, and now what I want is that I want that this counter should be used in my main.js. Okay, not in main.js, sorry, in my view. Okay, so how I can use this, okay, in my view. So first of all that we will be doing is that we will include our controller. Okay, okay, so firstly for that we just have to import and get dot dart, and now I will create a final, and I will create a controller controller final, sorry, final controller. Yeah, you can see that controller, not this controller. Okay, I think it is for that. No, just remove this one. Okay, so controller, yeah, it is that controller, sorry. So we will create a controller and a controller variable, and then we'll just call a get and get dot, now I will call a put, it will just initialize that thing. Okay, controller, yeah, and now what I want is that so I think I should remove this. Once again, it is at the wrong place. It should be inside this. Okay, yeah. So now what I will be doing, okay, I want that this thing should be observable. Okay, so for making this counter as a one more thing. So firstly, I want that this to be what you can say, this whole thing should be a variable. Okay, so for that I will be just doing is that I will just come over here. I will just go with the manipulation type of thing, and I will call the controller dot counter. Okay, you can see that controller dot counter is that thing. Okay, but currently this, if I save this, okay, you can see that we have still the value. Okay, and I want that if I click on this increment, okay, if I click on this increment function, so it should call that. So this is the increment, so counter, not controller, it should, yeah, controller dot increment. Yeah, increment, it should call this increment function. And if I come over here, controller dot decrement. Okay, so, and now if I save it, okay, if you can see that everything is now saved, and if I click on this, nothing is happening. Okay, why nothing is happening? Because the one most of the important thing is that this counter is not observable. Okay, so for making this thing observable, what we will do, we'll just go to this controller, and this 0 we will just add dot obs makes this variable observable. Okay, so so we have got a error. Int is not a subtype of, okay, type int is not a subtype of rx int function results. Okay, one second, we have to look some of these things. mm, Counter, it says the controller, we got a error as this. Okay, so why we got that? Okay, we have a counter where do I need to set it as int? Yeah, it is rsint. Okay, so it is now reloaded, so let me just reload it. Okay, so we got our function like this, and if I click on this, is it increasing? Okay, so we are getting some issue. One sec, we have set this controller counter. Okay, we have this, and oh sorry, so we have missed one thing. If we have made something as observable, then we have to call it using observable. So we have to call the obs function. Okay, and inside this obs function, what we will be doing, we will be just calling a callback. Okay, and this callback will end here. Okay, and if now I save it, I think now it should work fine. Yeah, you can see that now if I click on this, it is increasing, and if I click on this, it is decreasing. Okay, so this is the way in which we can create a counter application using uh, this getx. So the main thing is that you have to create the variable as a observable. So if you don't want this rx int, I think it should now work fine without that rx int. Okay, and yeah, it is working fine. So first of all, create a counter, make it observable using .obs function, and if you want to use that anywhere, just call that in a obx function, and in that, and its callback will be the counter of that thing. Okay, so it will just to work fine like that. Okay, so I'm just wrapping up this thing here. If you want me to create some of the thing using getx, okay, then I will definitely move forward with this, and this whole code will be in my github repository. you can find that. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you, have a nice day.